Hey everyone, Wooten here. I wanted to make a quick video talking about a couple of things that have been on my mind lately, and I figured that whipping out my old webcam and doing a more face-to-face video would help get my message across a bit better, because it's one thing to hear the voice, and I know that's what my channel is mostly geared around, but sometimes seeing the face while it's saying the things that it's saying um, helps get the message across a bit easier. And also, because YouTube has graciously given the advice that you should use a webcam, a face cam of some sort, to help uh, get your message across. So basically, that's shorthand way of saying use a face cam because the algorithm likes it. So it's just a whole fucking thing. So um, I know it's been about, well, probably like 3 months at this time since my last pony-esque upload. I know I did a brief stint where I did some live, some re-uploaded, edited footage from live stream readings, and like a small comic dub. But outside of that, my last big pony project thing was back in March, and that's a good while going without a major project. And that is partially voluntary. Um, I chose to step away from all voice work things for a good like month and a half ish, while I was dealing with the finale of our Champions of Nerator campaign. It was 4.5 years in the making, and so I wanted to really dig my heels deep and make sure that it was a proper send off for such a long campaign. So because of that, that took a little while to complete, and that took away from the time that I would be using to do voice work. And partially, uh, I don't want to say it's non-voluntary, but uh, I'm not quite sure how to word it, because it's not something that I've run into, but I think burnout is probably the closest thing, because I had a similar thing happen to me years ago when I stopped writing. I stopped writing to focus on the voice work aspect, because that seemed to be where my skills were better suited. Let's, for lack of a better word. So I stopped writing and rededicated myself to voice work. And because of that, I haven't posted like anything on film fiction in like years. So I feel like, in a way, the burnout is partially due to the fact that I feel like I've plateaued. I feel like, in terms of uh, quality of being able to improve my craft, I feel like I don't have anywhere further up to go. And some may say that the fact that I don't have enough subscribers is evident of that. I still have farther to go, but even subscribers isn't a necessary measure of quality. It's just a measure of you were able to get enough attention, and you were lucky enough that the algorithm favored you for a brief time. I had the same thing. I had that happen when I started doing comic dubs because they were short and they got a lot of traction, and I got like 5,000 subscribers easily from one. I think it was the Rarity comic dub, like the Rarity's mom comic dub in particular. Um, but yeah, that I don't I can't see any way to push my quality forward that wouldn't involve like turning this thing into like full professional full-time thing. And that's hard for someone who has dreams of like doing the absolute best quality stuff and continuing to pursue a craft that I do enjoy. I enjoy voice acting. I enjoy performing, but um I don't I don't get the same enjoyment out of the tedium of it as I did years ago. Because years ago, I was totally fine with going through hours upon hours of audio footage and just editing through it and posting it. Um, I feel like I've lost that in a way, and I'm not entirely sure what to do about it because I've tried the break. I've tried taking a break from it, and it hasn't helped all that much. And so I'm kind of at an impasse at what to do. I have in addition to that, um there's another aspect to it given the story that I'm writing on, or that the story that I'm working on right now is one that I wrote back in 2013. And given the time period that it was written in, and given the environment of everything going on right now in the real world, I feel like at the very least, I should put this one aside because of some of the language that's used in it is indicative of the sort of gamer culture that was going on at the time. Things like Overwatch and all that stuff was uh, going on. League of Legends, um, and back in 2013, you can sort of imagine where I'm going with this. There's some colorful language in the story that had I were I to rewrite the story or write it nowadays, I probably would not use the uh, the language that I used in that story. And so, at the very least, I'm going to set this one aside, the current one that I've been working on, and um, I'm going to set up a poll for patrons to vote on a the story that I'm going to work on in the interim, in replacing this story as the thing that I'm working on right now, because I've been working on this off and on since March, and so I don't want to. Um, I don't, I don't know the word. I don't really know the word to describe it. I don't want all that time to go to waste. And so I'm just going to set the store, like the project aside and not just scrap the whole thing. And so I'm going to put together a poll for patrons to vote on which story I should work on next. And then depending on how that poll goes, I'm going to open it up to the rest of my audience. I'm going to make like a community post or something. And based on the results of both of those polls, I'm going to start work on another another voice work project. Um, in addition, I'm just straight up, I haven't interacted much with the pony fandom in these last few months, and I've sort of grown distant from it. I've mostly been focusing on things like D&D. Um, I recently got into Kenshi. I'm getting back into World of Warcraft and all this other stuff. Um, and so I haven't really been inundated with as much pony stuff as I have been in the past 10-ish years. And so I've sort of grown distant from it. And I feel like the quarantine is part of that. And I feel like excuse me, once things open up, um, it'll I'll probably get back into the swing of things. But right now, um, I just haven't felt the drive that I've felt for many years now. And so we're gonna try this and see what happens. And depending on how this goes, I may do more of these like face to face video updates, just to keep y'all posted on what's going on. And yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. I can't think of much else. Um, Stay healthy, stay safe. Um, Given everything that's going on in the world right now, be careful. Uh, Keep yourself. Make sure that you're practicing proper social distancings, proper habits. If you're going into any sort of protest or something, uh, make sure that you're practicing that social distancing. Don't take your mask off uh, for not just for hygiene's sake, but for identity protection. Don't let your identity be compromised for expressing your right to free speech. Um, and so I think given everything that's been going on, I think we'll just leave it at that for now. Um, and yeah, once again, stay safe, and uh, I'll see all of you in the next video. Hopefully, we'll see.